It's Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have my co-host with me today. Hi, ladies.
Hello, Morayo.
Jums are in the building.
In the building.
What's up?
With my husky voice. I'm a bit under the weather. You know, the fever going around with sore throat and cold. But I'm doing very well, sipping on my green tea.
Yes, so that's what that green tea with some ginger in it.
Yes, ginger and a teaspoon of honey. Just a spoonful of honey makes the medicine go down.
I'm telling you, I need that right now. I have a serious cough. I have a serious cough that I've been managing.
Yeah.
How you doing, Nima? Today's Tuesday. What's up?
Yes, so looking forward to Ramadan tomorrow or next.
Oh, that's true.
So good girl mode activated.
Yeah.
You're a good girl every day.
Thank you. That's a nice feedback.
But you are.
Thank you, Sharon, for my girly bracelets. Jumoke, you have scores to settle.
On TV.
I didn't know. You know how?
She knows. We've been at it over the weekend.
What happened?
We've been at it. She knows. The rice is just part one.
Yeah.
It's a series starting.
Oh my God, I thank God that I'm very
Can you
oblivious.
fill us in? We have no idea what you're talking about.
She used to fill me in also. I am also oblivious.
I like the fact that
Can
she's
you
acting.
fill us in?
Okay, Jumoke is a troublemaker, you know. And she's actually acting it out, sitting on the edge where I like to sit.
Why do you like to sit here though?
She knows.
Why?
She knows.
Why do you like to sit here? You like to show off your borrowed shoes?
Ooh, I can't take that.
No.
Nima, you gotta give her something.
Did you see Topper's gift yesterday?
No, I haven't.
I heard
birthday
you say,
came first.
Jumoke, I hope you're watching.
Watching.
Why did you do that?
How you doing?
I am fine,
I
thank
love
you.
your top. You kept changing your top. What's the deal with
I wasn't
that?
so sure about it, but
That's nice.
thank you.
How would you think of changing it?
Okay, thanks. But it's pretty at the back.
Yeah.
Yes,
What's
stylist.
up?
Yeah.
How you doing? What's up?
I'm fine.
Any news?
Nothing much. My first time this week, so my weekend was quite busy. Birthdays, inter-house sports.
Whose
We came
birthday, your children?
third. No, my husband's grandchild turned 1.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Miriam, you have a very interesting life.
I do. Very
What's
interesting.
your
I'm very
grandchild?
happy. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I'm one of those wives that ain't gonna marry one old man like that.
19 years, 2 months.
19 years.
Are we discussing?
It was very interesting.
It was interesting.
It
What's
was.
it?
Miriam,
The older is not that
don't
old,
trust me. I
actually.
like
It's very,
that.
very.
Yes,
very,
I know.
very
I know
funky.
when, like,
I
when my
like
friends,
it
when I first met him, and I would say to them, "Oh, he's, you know, at the time, I was, oh, he's 40 something, or he's 50." They'd be like, 50. Then when they see his picture, my mom, when we were getting married, she now told all my uncle, "He's an old man." No.
Yeah.
Then when they saw him, they were like,
Who is that?
"This guy is not an
Yeah,
old
your
man.
guy
He looks
looks really
good."
funky,
And
yeah.
yeah. And he's
So she's like your
Yeah.
grandchild. She's like your grandchild.
Yes.
well, she has a
Step-grandchild.
she has a grandmother.
Hey, Grammy. Yeah, Grammy. Step grandmother. So
Yeah.
Grammy plus.
And I've always wanted to be a young grandmother, so
Yeah.
if I can.
You gotta help me support the movement. Once in a while, stop by.
No,
just
she's
help.
1, so she's good.
Oh, good. Fantastic. That's cool.
Yeah.
Practice on her.
I should practice.
I'm doing well. Oh. MIL is so interesting. You know, hanging out in the house with MIL is just very interesting every
You
day.
are growing up quickly.
Yes. It's interesting conversations we have, you know. Little things like, hey, cough takes 5 to 7 days to go. I don't really need to
Very
take anything.
true.
Like, just,
Very, very
it's,
true.
no matter how much you take, it's still going to be there.
I agree.
So, but she doesn't understand that until she sees you downing something.
Sometimes you have to.
No, you see, what you take is just to
It's just,
relieve.
you can take your tea.
to relieve.
I take my tea
it's
and
never
yeah,
going to, it's
cure
a
it.
virus.
Yes.
There's no cure.
All infections.
Yeah, so it's eventually
Worst
go.
case is 14 days.
So what you need to do is just rest.
Yes.
So you don't feel
So like
headache
this.
or anything
I know
like
tea
that.
logun, yeah. Oh, tea logun. Take it easy. I've had tea.
It's
I'm
okay.
good.
It's okay.
Like really.
Grandma.
But it's interesting. Just it's interesting to have.
Some of us envy you.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting to just have an elderly person in the house, you know, to have that conversation. So when she tells me things, I just laugh hard, and she's wondering, okay, after the laugh, get it done. All right, let's go to break. When we come back, we'll breeze through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Let's start with the Punch. We're going to start with the Punch. Graft won't end until justice catches up with corrupt leaders, says Soyinka. Troops rescue old man from Boko Haram. 2 Nigerians batter fellow students over who has the richest dad.
Ewo.
Investors lose 125 billion naira as 32 stocks fail. Federal government begins repair of Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway. Banker links Fayose to 1.2 billion naira allegedly collected from Dasuki. DCO injured, vehicles vandalized as Shiite police clash. APC crisis cracks in PDP as ultimatum expires. Nwankwo Ajiboye make provisional World Cup list. NNPC issues 2-year crude lifting contracts to traders. Will only recognize authorized congresses, says APC. Judges' appointment politicized, CGN lament, and Bring Back Our Girls demand update on rescue of Leah Sharibu's as she clocks. It's supposed to be, I think it was 16 or 15. But
15.
They say 15. Well, 16 was in the papers yesterday. Okay, the interesting but peculiar story.
May I take it?
The picture's not important. Let's take the boys and we'll take the picture. Yes.
So two Akeba, okay, let me say it in English.
Akeba
two badly brought up.
Don't say that. Don't judge them. Don't judge them.
Badly
Behave.
brought up. That's my own
Don't
word.
say badly brought up.
Just do the report first.
Badly behaved.
No.
This is a, they have the Morayo, this is a conviction. They
Akebaje.
Akebaje.
Yeah, no.
What does that mean?
You can't
Over-
conclude.
suffering from
Just tell us
overfeeding.
what did the paper say
Well,
first?
it's a court judgment. They've been convicted.
Yes.
So I am saying from facts.
Yes.
Akebaje.
No, you are
badly
making
brought
a
up.
summation from what you read. What exactly did the paper say?
Exactly.
Okay, two children,
Men.
two men picked on a third young man for daring to say that his father was richer than the
Simple.
others.
Now, what do you feel about
So,
that?
as
of all,
Nigerian
they are
language,
Nigerians.
now that's the report. Akebaje, suffering from overfeeding, two children, badly brought up sports brats, beat up a third child for saying my father is richer than your.
Simple. Let's move on.
So, these two children in their room,
How old are they?
22 years old.
They're
Like
20.
early to
They're
21.
not
living in
children,
the
these are
UK,
22,
doing
23.
a master's in engineering. Ilonze is doing a master's in engineering, a 4-year master's in engineering, and the other one is expecting a baby. According to their lawyers, those were their plea terms.
Okay, please.
But do you know what I like
have
about this
knowledge.
story?
Have mercy
Because
on them.
if it had happened here, it would have just
No,
been
they
something-
wouldn't have gotten to court.
Yes, but they went to court. They were given a suspended
Anyway,
judgment.
Boko Haram rescued an old man. Who has the
Yes,
story?
so I like the story. I like the picture actually
Right.
of the man being saved. You know when you watch these old war movies,
Right.
how when they're saving.
This man does not
Is he
look
being
guilty.
saved? Is he being saved or is
This
being
story-
dragged? Look at him with his
being
get.
saved.
You see the picture? He's being saved. He's not
being
being
saved.
dragged.
Morayo.
This is not dragged.
This man looks like he's being dragged.
No, he was caught in a
Right, when
crossfire between Boko Haram and the soldiers, and
Can
they
we just
carried
move
him
on?
and they were running
No,
out of
they
that.
carry him like
Yes, they
So
carried
can't you
him.
see the paper now?
Nigeria.
This man looks like I don't want to go.
Let's go die.
Let's move on to the nation, please. The nation.
Yeah, waiting to die.
Ex-PDP leaders to Buhari shun ultimatum for talks. Osinbajo, why loot recovery is tough. Oil prices raise to $80. PDP malls Dakwambo for presidents. That's the Gombe State governor. Rivers APC, Abe seeks president's help. And Lagos Abeokuta road repairs to cost 22.3 billion naira.
And there's that picture again of a man being dragged with
yeah.
his kettle.
Stop saying drag, it was rescued. The paper says rescued.
Rescue.
You can't just say, this one doesn't look like. Dragging is when your feet actually touch the
Drag to
floor.
safety.
They are dragging you. You are being
Dragged
dragged.
to safety.
But his feet is
When
up,
you are
up on the
frail,
air.
your feet will not touch the floor.
Okay, no story in So Dakwambo is one of
Yes,
he's been put as a
PDP
possibility.
they need a very, very
flag
strong
bearer.
northern-
So it's strong. So actually, interestingly, this day has the picture of the possibilities of if it's Atiku, if it is Saraki, if it's Dakwambo, or I think there's another person. The four possibilities.
Sokoto's governor.
You know me, I have my own theory.
Yeah.
The more stronger northern aspirants that we have, the easier it becomes for a southerner to take the tickets to become
see
the
how-
president.
we'll see how that
because they're
goes.
going to break down the northern votes, and it's a lot by what INEC has
When we get to
declared.
this day, we'll look at the pictures, the predictions they are saying here. Let's move on to Daily Sun very quickly. 2019, PDP woos APC members. Yes, so secondaries to meet new PDP. Members in road, but that's the new PDP.
Okay.
Okorocha loses again as APC goes ahead with local government congress in Imo. Impeachment threat, police seal Kano assembly. CJN warns judicial officers on social media use. FG not interested in conducting 2019 elections, says Wike. Any stories in Sun?
So the
Yeah, go ahead.
Speaker Abdullahi Yusuf Atta, he's the
Kano State.
in Kano State, so he's
State
being,
House of Assembly.
they want to impeach him for being incompetent and not carrying the members along. He's saying that, well, he knows that he hasn't stolen, and if it's God's will for him to still be the speaker, he
It's
will be
easy
the
to say,
speaker. But if you know it's time for him to go, he's
saying
willing
that
to go. And
So
he was
is
just
it
spending
his
like 10
supporters who
10
closed down
months.
the
No,
National Assembly?
the police came and closed down the National Assembly because they said it's for peacekeeping. They had
Okay.
heard that there might be, you know,
Skirmish.
yes, and so.
So obviously, the
he
PDP
took
is
over
trying
office
to woo.
from a corrupt, supposedly corrupt speaker who resigned because of corruption allegations, and he has not been able to put the house together.
Right.
Yeah.
The major headline,
People are
some
moving
people,
to
some
impeach him.
PDP is obviously winning the new PDP to come, the new PDP to come back, because there was, according to them, the faction was saying that there was no marginalization, because that was the new PDP were initially insinuating that they've been marginalized by the APC. But there's a faction of that new PDP also saying, no, that's a lie, that we're never marginalized. So
where do they want to go
there's
back
likely
to?
to be a split between the two parties.
So some of them
party.
will then be going back to PDP?
Possibly,
Wow.
possibly. But they are wooing them, Sha. So eventually, when we see woo, it means that next 1 week they will announce that they have
You know,
moved
I'm
over.
a journalist. I've become confused with Nigerian politics.
Moving on to
There's no hope
this
for-
day, with the 2019 race wide open, where are Buhari's opponents? So the picture here is pretty interesting. Buhari versus Atiku. It shows the blue portions, if you can see it. The yellow are those that they're not sure of, the unsure, the too close to call, and the reds are the ones that can go to the opponent. That's Atiku. That's the top left is Atiku. Top right is Dakwambo or Tambuwal. So the reds are the projections that if it's Tambuwal or Dakwambo, they can take those red spots. The blues are definitely for Buhari,
Okay.
and the yellows are the undecided.
Okay, so if you see there are 4 pictures. The
Yes.
blue in the top right corner,
Right.
right? That's definitely for Buhari. Now, if you look at the yellow and the red,
Yes.
if we now have a strong aspirants like Kingsley Moghalu from the south, the yellow who are undecided yet can decide that, okay, we want to go for Moghalu, and he has the red,
the
definitely. So looking at Nigeria, that person can win.
Possibly.
If an Atiku Buhari break the blue.
Yeah,
Do you
so
understand
yes,
my
but
logic?
well, that's true. That's the possibility. But
split
look, but the way we're seeing it is not. There's no guarantee that even if you get a northern candidate, they might get some northern states. They might get very few northern states. But you're right, it will still break the northern votes. Let's move on now. Let's see how it goes. 2019 is going to be very interesting.
Very, very real.
Vanguard, but the most important thing for your view is for us to tell people they have options. Because people always assume that we don't have an option. Is it that APC or PDP?
Look,
that's not true. In 2019,
when I voted
there are
COA
options.
was just to say there were options.
Yes.
Don't think you only
So-
have 2.
And you,
So regardless
Your
of
share
it, we
was
have
counted.
options. So no, there's no
My
excuse.
vote was counted though.
Yes.
Moving on to Vanguard. Corruption started after me, says go on. Adds, we didn't know corruption during our time. Oh. It's a lie. Your government also guilty, says Sage Musa Fasheun and Okromu. We need solution, not blame game, says Adebanjo. Then the $320 million bachelor loot to go to poor Nigerians, says Buhari. Armed policemen take over Kano Assembly. Patients groan as health workers' strike persists. Dozens die in Gaza as U.S. Embassy opens in Jerusalem. Ultimatum, new PDP splits as Abdullahi Adamu's faction disowns Baraji on Oyinlola. Bandits kidnap 87 passengers along Bini-Gwari Highway. Okay, let's take
So I have the
the...
Burning Gwari
Let me
Highway.
take Jumoke.
So the major headline yesterday in Abuja, the 8th Commonwealth Anti-Corruption Conference held, and we had former head of state Gowon, Professor Soyinka, amongst other elder statesmen at the meeting. And former head of state Gowon was saying that he handed over power in 1975, was actually a coup, but that in his government and prior to that, there'd been no corruption. And elder statesman Dr. Chukwuemeka Ezeife, former governor of Anambra State, agreed with him that till 1975, there wasn't anything like corruption in Nigeria. But Professor Issa Sage and Balarabe Musa are saying, no, Oga, you cannot be right. That corruption was inside your own government also.
Right.
And others like Soyinka are saying, we don't need all this blame, somebody corruption, we just need to move ahead.
Okay, well, I was going to add,
Right history.
there was one more story about the 320 million Abacha loans. Some people are saying that if they return that money and give it to poor people, there's a possibility that it will end up in the wrong hands.
Yes.
That why don't you use that money to invest in agriculture, invest in proper infrastructure.
Build hospitals.
Build, things that people can
Research.
actually use and eventually
Science
gain
research.
employment or even help people to be empowered. But just giving them as handouts to people is not sustainable. How do you just distribute $320 million? You distribute that. It doesn't make any sense. What Buhari said that, unfortunately, that's what they're going to do with that money. Unfortunately, that's all we can take with the front pages when we return. Worker threatened his boss with thunder and lightning. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. As many of you know, in our society today, in this part of the world, we display lots of religious beliefs beyond our worship centers into our daily lives and further into our workplace. As seen in the video trending online over the weekend, a subordinate was commanding a superior officer to append his signature on a particular document and failed to do so, and saying that he will incur the wrath of God. Watch this video.
Oh Lord, you are the one that have heaven and the earth, and give us the power to have dominion over the thing of the world. He command me to command you that you should sign this thing in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. But if you did not do it, the God who created heaven and earth, who created you and have your soul and have everything with you, if you not sign it, he's ready to take your life, because he's the one that gives you life, and he's ready to take it from you. In the name of the Father and the Son.
Take this money. Just take him away. Straight.
I just sign it.
Take him out. Take him out. Take him to jail. Straight up. Come in there.
Follow me in the
Take him away.
Follow me in the respect.
He doesn't move. Follow him.
Follow me.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Yes, it's for Muslims.
Thanks for staying with us. So that's the video that was trending over the weekend. Now, to give us a call, you can call us on 070-806-6814. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. We'd like you to show that video again after the other break. But the issue is not so much the video. The issue is what caused that man.
The mentality.
The mentality of our people and the religious, our beliefs. And we believe that, yes, when you speak it, it comes to pass. But where do you draw the line between religion and reality and even official situations? I'd like to hear your views. We have a guest in the studio, maybe at 9:30 he comes on to tell us the psychological part of this. But I'd like to hear your thoughts and your general views, especially on religion in Nigeria and what it has made us to become today.
I'm very, very sad in terms of what I see around me, fanaticism in religious houses. A lot of our religions are borrowed, aside from our traditional religion. Our great-grandparents did not have Jesus or Muhammad. They only had their traditional ways of worship. But now, we've taken this borrowed religion and seen, whenever you're going into your religious thing, you leave your brain aside. Because people seem not to think when they're being religious. What do I mean? Now, this guy, you ought to just do your job and go and pray. See, religion is very, very personal. Don't bring it to the workplace.
But I don't think it's fair to say Christianity or Islam or the borrowed religions, because if it was Shango he was worshipping, he would have done the same thing and come there and say, Shango said that this. So it's not so much of the Christianity, it's more of the thinking that I have spoken it and it has come to pass and you must do it because I've spoken it. But let me let you come in,
because
Maria.
I don't see a lot of Shango people.
I don't think it's about borrowed religion. It's just the way that, from history, I think the Nigerian way, the way we carry religion. Because I remember growing up, you find when you go out early in the mornings, you find people put chicken feather and pots and things together. You know, you watch movies where people will go to somebody and touch their lips and then talk to the person. So what I feel actually is that people have borrowed from the African religion and put it into Christianity and turned Christianity into like a chanting thing, you know, because in the traditional religions, we chant, we say things, and we say if we say it to you, it will have
church to speak.
I know. I'm saying that the way it's been done, like spells We've taken the spell making or spells, you know, from traditional religion and we have put it into Christianity. And then that's why someone will stand, or you hear people, they will not work hard, they will not do anything, but then they believe that about to write exams, they'll take a blessed pen to go and write exams. That's from our traditional belief, where we feel that there are things that can be made holy or blessed, and then you use it to pass exams. Okay. And also, for me, I also think it's a psychological problem.
We'll come to psychological problem with our guests. Let me come to
because we've always been religious people. We've always, but this level of confrontation comes with a mental instability. That's how I see it. Nigerians have always been, whether across religion, whichever religion you practice, we've always been extremely religious people. It's that another issue is whether we actually are godly people. But the issue of confronting in, you know, the kind of confrontation he has, that's a mental, that one comes with the mental instability.
Let's be fair. We hear these messages in church every Sunday. That if you have enough faith as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. So he's activating his faith. So the big deal.
How many mountains have our pastors and our GOs moved in Nigeria with their faith?
Might not be physical, but it's mental movement. You'll be surprised.
But look at this guy, right? He wanted to command the man. Like, you know how, if he doesn't sign, you know how you want to destroy the devil. And we see it in our prayer. My enemy, die. Meanwhile, the Bible says to love your enemies and bless the people who persecute you. So you want him to sign a document. The God who I serve, who made you? At first, the guy wasn't even confident in his speech from the very beginning. But when he now started talking about the God who made him, he seemed emboldened that he can take your life because he created everything. Sign it.
So whose fault is this? Is it the pastors? Is it the...
No,
whose fault is it to get where people have gotten...
I believe that the role of the clerics have been abused. Clerics no longer know their place. They misinform and in fact, they break homes. As a cleric, you're supposed to first of all have faith and a strong relationship with the God you're preaching to someone else, and understand how to talk to that God. So you now take the place of God. You start to say, you see, when you don't see, when God is all seeing. You start to say things that you don't know. You start to base things on, you say things that are baseless into a person's life. You destroy the balance in that person's life. It destroys the balance in another person's life and continue to destroy society like that. Look at extremism as it is.
Yes.
The people promoting extremism, Shekau never goes bombing on a suicide bombing mission. But he sends people.
Right.
You know, they drug people.
And they believe what they're doing.
And the person being preached to has lost the sense of reasoning to understand that me first.
Oh my God.
You build your relationship with God in such a way that you're confident in that relationship when you go into life. You live life taking decisions, knowing God has got you because you have a strong relationship. But when you think, someone once said to me that as a co-host on your view and with the hijab, you need to have Afa somewhere. Excuse me?
Afa.
Imagine.
You need to have someone praying for you religion somewhere. And I said, no, I have a relationship with God that I understand God knows what I want.
Okay, let me come to Mariam on this.
Religion really asks you, if we look at it, it does expect you to take yourself away and just be, be what God wants you to be. And so some of us will take it literally. Sometimes I even find it a bit difficult how to separate, being wise. It says be wise. So you're thinking, if you're wise, are you being too wise that you're too wise for the word of God? Or are you being too humble? Or are you believing it so much that you act out like this person has acted out?
Let's look at it again. People have done what this man did and have gotten results.
Have they?
Yes.
I don't agree.
I don't agree.
Some people will go to their office and say, I command you in the name of Jesus Christ.
I will sack you.
No,
I will sack you.
People are giving testimonies in church.
Yeah, they went to their boss.
And they said that I'm telling you, don't make it look as if, it's just this guy, this one of
Wait.
People have gotten results from this kind of thing. It's possible, it's based on somebody's testimony in church.
Let me quickly correct you. This is how you get results. So you have been told to command. You go in your privacy, you command and tell God this is what you want. And approach that person knowing that you have already done your prayers, that God is not hearing you. Don't get there and say, that's fine.
Nima, people come to the altar and give testimonies of the fact that they took a letter to their boss.
Were they whispering the command or they were commanding him? sign this, I say I will sack you.
No, haven't you received CVs with oil stains on them?
Yes,
and,
the anointing oil.
And you trashed them. Did you not trash them?
Me, I've not received those ones. I know that people receive
please,
this and
you cannot-
they see the anointing on, and somehow the Holy Spirit just come down.
You'll be surprised. Dora Akuyili. She will enter her office like this. She told her story. She will see all sorts of sacrifices on the floor. She just push everything aside and sit down. They went physical, shot her, the thing went through her gele. She continued her job. It's only if you believe. So if that boss is also from the same denomination and he believes so that once they command him like that, he will die. He can now listen.
Okay,
but if you do not believe in it, you sack the guy
The
immediately.
boss is fine.
All right,
He's the guy that got sacked.
let's take a break because it's not so much about the video. As I said, it's more about how did we get to this point.
Yes.
We're going to talk to somebody who can help us to protect our brains from these kinds of teachings. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So joining us is a human and social behaviorist, Dr. Tyler Ilori. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
For those of you that missed the video, let's look at it one more time.
Oh Lord, you are the one that have heaven and the earth, and give us the power to have dominion over the thing of the world. He command me to command you that you should sign this thing in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. But if you did not do it, the God who created heaven and earth, who created you and have your soul and have everything with you, if you not sign it, it's ready to take your life. Because it's the one that gives you life, and it's ready to take it from you. In the name of the Father and the Son.
Just take this money away. Just take him away. Straight.
I just sign it.
Take him out. Take him out. Take him to HR. Straight up. Come in there.
Follow me in the
Take him away.
Follow me, give me the
He
respect.
doesn't move everything.
Follow
In
me.
the mighty name of Jesus.
That's it.
Right, that's the video that was trending over the weekend. Now, my own Bible does tell me that I have dominion, right? But the way I would practice or execute my own dominion is a bit different. But was he wrong? I mean, of course he was wrong. But I'm saying that with what we are being taught in our religious churches, either churches or mosques, was he wrong to take that action?
Well, I wouldn't say that he was wrong. Religion is quite a complex topic to discuss.
Right.
And a lot of people give credit to religion, and they also blame religion for a lot of things that we should not even blame religion for. For instance, the places in the world where you have dominance of religion, there is one particular thing that you will also find there, that is poverty. Now, the only country in the world that you would realize that that is different is in America. So you find that anywhere you find poverty, you would find religious dominance. And what is responsible for poverty is poor governance. So anywhere you find poor governance, the result is poverty. And once there's poverty, people are looking for how to take charge of their lives. And they have to find an alternative.
God bless you, sir, for taking us to poverty.
Okay.
And I've said it twice. It will be my third time saying it, that I went to a church and I saw hopelessness on their faces, not knowing where the next meal will come from. Their only hope is that if maybe the pastor lays his hands on me, somebody will call me. Because they are jobless, they're not doing anything. So they're waiting for a miracle. So it seems like you mentioned, poverty just makes us, because there's no food, there's nothing. So you just abandon your brain and start to hope for the spiritual, the miraculous. And rather than do the things, for instance, the Bible says, no food for the lazy man. So rather than do the things that we'll do in poor nations, we just hand over everything to God and sit waiting. How do we come out of this?
Yeah, you know, if you're also not careful, we could blame the poverty and then not focus our attention on the right place, which is governance. Once, like I said, once there's poor governance, there will be poverty. Now, once people are poor, they are hopeless, they are helpless, and they are powerless. There are three things, three powers that a man must have. It's the power to make wealth, power to be safe, and power to be for happiness.
Okay.
Now, governance is what secures the power for a man to make wealth. So you see that if there's no conducive environment, the individual will not be, the successes that you find in such environment will be circumstantial, like you said.
So you're saying it's not really the religious problem, it's actually a governance issue?
No, we are even still coming to that,
please.
because religion still has a role to play.
Okay.
Now, when people are poor, they are vulnerable.
Right.
Okay.
They are vulnerable. Now, if you fix governance problem,
Right.
like they are fixed in Europe, you know, I was in a training the other day and I was saying that there's a place, I don't know if it's in Denmark or Norway, that it is becoming almost criminal to give birth normally. And someone said, I'm a Jewish woman. Do you understand? So I asked the person, who told you that it's through the normal process, what you call the normal process, that is the only process to give birth? That was what you were used to.
Yeah.
But now in this country, they are trying to make it criminal because they know that it is not safe. So they are trying to find the safer way to...
Coming back to this issue, yes, Nima.
I have a religion I have studied over time, and it came as a result to solve societal problem. There was a massive, major, if you study the history before Islam came, major injustice, unfairness in society, and a lot of poverty. Yes. And if you look at countries who successfully practice Islam, like Saudi, for instance, within their society, the way they are extremely wealthy people.
All right.
Okay.
That's the way I see religion. But the way we who have adopted the religion here do it, there's massive abuses here. Right. And we see the Saudians too. When you're in a top leadership position, or you're supposed to be like a cleric, you're selfish, you start to reinterpret religion in a selfish, self-interest way, right, which is what we see today. Which is why someone who is now a follower of such a person would misunderstand how to use religion in your personal life. What I see in that video is somebody misunderstanding the place of God in his personal life. Your relationship and your conversations with God are private. You now have a strong belief based on that strong relationship you think you have or you know you have.
But Nima, can I ask something? This is a man that was hopeless. Religion probably gave him some hope that, you know what, there's a possibility I take this document to this man and I'll get this job, whatever it is he was looking for. So a hopeless person can actually find succor in religion.
Because
so
he has nothing else.
It's not all bad.
Moraya, you see why I will have a problem. The Prophet ﷺ said, tie your camel. There was a person at the time of the Prophet who said, okay, because I have God now, can I just leave my camel there and I'm sure it will be safe? He said, secure your camel, tie it and have faith in God that someone will then not come. And don't let your camel wander away first.
No, leave it loosely. Okay, let me let you come in, sir.
Okay.
Let me let him respond, then you come in.
You know, I said earlier that there are three powers that a man must have, which is power to make wealth,
happiness,
power to be safe, and power to be
great
happy.
Happiness.
And these three powers are what you call personal political power. As in, that is a power that you have, that you should not be in any way be deprived of. Now, once the government of the land or the culture of governance in the land takes this power away from the individual, he has to balance it.
How?
It means that he has to look for the alternative.
Then fall over. That's why they say religion is the opium of the people. It's, you know, an alternative to...
He looks for the alternative because you see that in religion promises this power to make wealth to you. So if you do A, B, and C, you are going to have money.
Yes.
It promises power to be safe. So if you do A, B, and C, you're going to be safe. It promises power for happiness. In fact, if you're not happy, you also see that some of the things that will lead into heaven are some of the things that we cannot achieve here. I'll give you an instance. So it is human to want gold, and gold is meant for kings.
Yes.
So you see that ordinary people cannot have gold there. Where do we lace gold to? We put it in heaven. You see that when people get married, after marriage, they realize that marriage is a huge responsibility. Therefore, you know what we have done? We have removed the culture of marriage from heaven because it is huge responsibility. You also imagine the case of real estate. Real estate here, you have to build house, buy land, and it is huge responsibility to also buy land and do all those things. So poor people are looking for these alternatives. So where do you have land and you have your mansion that is built somewhere else? Now, people go to the other side to go and look for all this. And when you mention Saudi Arabia, you realize that it is not just because of the religious practices that has made Saudi Arabia to be rich. Now you see that there is no, beyond the liberal governance, there is an element in the nation that gives them wealth, which is the oil.
Yeah, right.
Do you understand?
Let me let Mariam jump in here.
Yes, I think we're going further into, but you know, one of the reasons I think we also wanted you to come here was because we're looking at this thing from another angle, which is, do we have, psychological issues?
Yes.
You know, are there psychological issues? You know that in America, there have been stories of major, powerful cults that have brought a lot of people together in the name of religion and have killed them because of that. So is there an element of that, you know, what we see right now here in Nigeria?
There's something we call, so you see, human beings are naturally religious. Now, when you say that, when I say that natural religious, I do not mean that the religion that we practice. Human beings naturally want to look up to something, want to believe in something. Not just even a supreme being, because if you take all the gods that we believe in now, whatever it is that we believe in now, if you take it away from us, if you say that next Sunday nobody goes to church, everybody just sit at home, I give us 1 or 2 weeks, we are going to find another thing that we're going to worship, not in the name, we could all gather, if you don't like football, you are going to start liking football. So everybody is going to gather around that thing again. So one way or the other, human beings always find something to gather around, to believe in, even when they do not understand that thing.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take some calls and tweets. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Also on the issue of religion, I know Tope was telling me that her husband wanted to interview somebody for a job. He missed his interview because he had a church service.
Imagine.
That morning.
Imagine.
And he called Tope's husband. He's like, the appointment was this. He said, sorry, sir, I'm so sorry. I had a church program.
Mario,
that happens a lot.
Mario, may I beg you, we need to treat this issue another day. Lots of people that I will invite for business meetings will not come because they have church services during the week. Who does that? Your pastor's not going to give you money. How do you drop your brain and go and be, God has said go and walk. You now go and be looking at the same God when somebody is giving you an opportunity.
There's also something called grace. Some people enjoy
go
grace.
To
and
church
some people
on Wednesday night, on Sunday morning. Why during Tuesday or Monday when you can go and walk?
Let's take some tweets.
Okay. Blessing says most Nigerians have been taken hostage in this so-called religion. They don't read their Bibles. Olaolu Akokola says it's a psychological problem his pastor has planted in the man's mind. Let's check the man's church background.
Moses Hassan says we need to know what really happened between him and the boss. Some bosses are so terrible because for a staff to stand tall and face a boss face to face and say all that he said means that the boss has been doing something that the worker is tired of.
We're so concerned about what happened. Our issue is that what method are you going to get what you want?
Ayodele says, any religion that discourages the application of simple principles and processes in life, but claiming faith is terrorism and fraud.
Let me take this call from Samson and come back to you. Samson, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
All right, here's it. First of all, let me correct what I think someone said, like religion is not it's a borrowed culture. Before religion came, we had our own. We were serving something else. Let's be truthful. Someone brought religion to Africa. Now, I'm a strong Christian.
Yes, sir.
The Bible says, see to it that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Now, that video is too foolish to me, the way I see it.
God bless this man.
We are supposed to, now, okay, you want to, just like this Muslim lady said, she said, you're supposed to settle it inside, then you go outside, then you face the man, not commanding the man. You sound like you don't have to me.
Thank you very much, Samson. Let me come to our guest now. I mean, do you agree with Samson?
Yeah, when it said that we're serving something before religion came, we try to segment what religion is, because religion is universal. It has different names.
Right.
So when you say African religion, you say Christianity, you say Islam. These are religions.
That were borrowed.
No, you can't say borrow because
interpretation of
this
what
is
religion
just
is.
different interpretation of what religion is.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So what our parents were serving, whatever they were doing then, also they
was
were
a form
being
of worship.
religious in their own way. And that was why I mentioned that human beings are inherently religious.
I agree.
Do you understand?
I agree.
Regardless of what you serve or what it is, one way or the other, we are religious. And that is why you see that political powers understand how to use
Manipulate.
Even the colonial masters.
Do you
knew
understand?
what they were doing
So
with
why I was saying this is all of us have God innate in us. He breathed his life into us. But one pastor will now tell you that he has all the powers. So you advocate all your powers within to the pastor and you look up to him to touch you. Meanwhile, the kingdom of God is in each
don't think
and
pastors say
every
they have
one
the
of
powers,
us.
though.
They do.
Okay.
That until you touch your own handkerchief before you get healing. Meanwhile, you can kneel down and
But
pray
some
for
people
yourself.
touch their
Because
handkerchief
they
and get
believe.
healing.
Look,
Okay.
whatever you believe
All right,
in will
all right.
work for you.
Okay, now, if you also look at that video from another standpoint, you could also say that this individual has psychological issues, that it could be a mental problem.
Yeah, I think his pastor has just told him too much.
Now, in a culture where there's poor governance,
Right.
because this is the root of this problem, in a
governance
culture
is an
where
issue.
there's poor governance, it makes a citizen to be susceptible and vulnerable
Okay,
to
I
a lot
disagree
of...
with you in that because I'm in the same culture with this man and I'm not like him. And I'm very religious. I'm as educated as he is, but I'm not as foolish.
You might be more educated
So
than
when
me.
you get, well, maybe, but I think he's educated, even if he's a clerk. So the point I'm driving at is a personal decision. I go to church and I still use my brain.
No.
I read my Bible for myself.
Okay, you know what? The angle you're taking into something that we need to discuss separately.
He keeps on
But-
talking about poor governance, and I'm in the same society with this man.
This is hanging,
But
hanging.
if
justify psychology.
Can
Can you
I
let
just add
it
something
go?
to what Jumoke is saying, which is that we've always had religion. We've had people. Can you remember there used to be a time where people would leave their work and go to a babalawo to make them help them have children?
I need
It
to
was not
pause
about
you for a second,
education,
Mariam.
it's
I
just
have a
about
call. We've been waiting for a while,
religion.
please.
Yes, about faith.
Can I take this call, please? Morning, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, please go ahead. Thanks for calling.
Thank you. Oh, this is my first time of getting through.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You have 30 seconds. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I beg to disagree a little with the last caller.
Okay.
Yeah. There has been, it's not just about Nigeria, there has been a form, or rather a way of life that was time past.
Exactly.
Abraham
That's religion.
and the rest of them then were worshipping in some way before the
Christ.
advent of religion, whether Christianity or Islam.
Okay.
So I feel to this end, we need to just talk to our clerics here in Nigeria. Religion is taking us back. A lot of people are not doing what they rightly have to do.
Very true.
They leave the things they do, that they are supposed to do and follow vague.
Thank you very much, Koke. Let's take a few more and let our guests round up.
Omogbolahan says this is the very reason Karl Marx was quoted to have said religion is the opium of the masses. Poverty and religion work in tandem. Poverty makes people vulnerable and they will naturally seek solace in religion. Garth George says there are too many religious illiterates in the land of the living. This man is just one of them. Adebayo Success says Gaskia, it's a clear case of mental instability. Who does that? Taking religion to the extreme. Uncle D says we are too religious in this country. A lady gave a testimony last month that after putting her church sticker on her car, she drove from Abuja to Benue without fuel in the vehicle. I left the church that day before the closing hour. And the last one, KDV says the guy misconceived the whole thing. You can be in your room and command whatever you want to, but the fact is the guy is frustrated.
To round up, sir, as a behaviorist, and people behaving this way towards religion and towards everything that has to do with their lives, how do you think we can get enough counsel to find our way back to where we're supposed to be and not take the kind of option this one has taken?
Okay, there was a program that was done in a particular church, and I happened not to be in that program. I was supposed to be there. And then the church member called me and said, you are missing out on the flow of grace that's happening here. That guess what? I just got promoted. So the question I asked the individual was, were you not supposed to be promoted before?
Oh.
You're not due for promotion.
You know, were you not due for promotion? Were you promoted 5 times ahead of your time? And she said no. Now, if you go to places, and this is why I'm talking about poor governance.
Right. Okay.
If you go to Northern Europe, where they have been able to take care of governance, you realize religious practice or dominance in this area, they're beginning to beginning to wane.
Yeah.
Now, if you talk about because what we're doing is that we're localizing these practices. We are localizing these practices. If this guy, because we make it Nigerian or African, no, it is not like that. Anywhere you get to.
You have people like this?
You have people like this, yes, anywhere you get to. For as long as there's culture of poor governance in the place and there's poverty, you are going to have people like this.
All right.
Now, how does the individual...
We have a few seconds left. Please, round up.
How does the individual like this, I mean, this kind of person will have to seek counsel.
Okay.
Professional
so we need
counseling.
All right. Unfortunately, that's all we can take on the show. Don't forget, Your View is going to be 5 years very soon, May 29th. We're hoping to do 5 days of activities. We're still trying to confirm our guests, but we'll let you know the details. But we have live audience throughout the entire week, that 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, and June 1st. The whole week we're going to have live audience. So come support and celebrate us. Have a fantastic day, and we'll try to do this topic again because we can't thrash this issue that we discussed.
We have to do it too.
We're going to do it in a few more days because hopefully we'll bring in other pastors and other people who would take a decision like this man. We'll bring them on just to get into why they do it.
We'll
and
find
why
the man safe and bring him.
That's all we can take on the show. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Let's bring him.